Jesus continues, verse 37, anybody who loves his father or his mother more than me is not worthy of me. And anybody who loves his son or his daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Jesus says, here's how rebellious I want you to be. I want you to love me first. Even when your family is clamoring for your time and your attention and your affection, before you give your time and attention and affection to them, I want you to give your time and attention and affection to me first. I must come first, Jesus says. Now, this almost sounds kind of strange, doesn't it? I mean, after all, it seems so pious and noble to put family first. Dr. Phil wrote a book several years back called Family First, your step-by-step plan for creating a phenomenal family. And if Dr. Phil says that family should come first, it has to be true, right? Heck, one of the most successful Christian organizations of all time is called Focus on the Family. And their stated mission is to help families thrive. How do you do it? You put families first. You develop a whole ministry around the family. But then Jesus comes along and he says, now hold on here, wait a second, not so fast. Anybody who loves his father or his mother more than me is not worthy of me. Anybody who loves his son or his daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Put me first, Jesus says. Love me first. Greek word for love here is the word phileo. And this term for love in the Bible is actually the broadest term that we have for love. Because the word phileo actually describes affection or affinity of any kind. There was this guy named Aristotle, and he wrote a 10-volume work in the 4th century BC. It was called the Nicomachean Ethics. And in this 10-volume work, he uses this word phileo extensively. He uses it to describe the love that is shared between lovers, the love that is shared between lifelong friends, the love that is shared between parents and children, the love that is shared between political or business acquaintances, the love that is shared between fellow voyagers or fellow soldiers. He even uses it to describe the love that is shared between someone who sells to another person. You ought to love them. You ought to phileo them, Aristotle says. And so Aristotle says phileo is affection or affinity of any kind, and you ought to phileo a lot of people. You ought to phileo a lot of things. And this is true. We ought to phileo a lot of people. Hopefully you phileo your family. But the question of Jesus is this: what do you phileo first? For what do you have the greatest affection? For what do you have the deepest affinity? Because if you phileo something more than Jesus, then Jesus would say you're failing the phileo test. Because you are supposed to love him, cherish him, honor him, follow him, phileo him, even before your family.